Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
Welcome to another episode of Action Video Game Talk. I'm your host, Scott Action Jackson. Thanks for joining me today, or tonight, or whenever you're watching or listening to this episode. I do have another list of news articles to go through, so let's go ahead and hop right into it. At Gamescom 2014, Ninja Theory announced a new title called Hellblade for PlayStation 4. At the time, no other platforms were mentioned. The studio has announced that it's adding one more to its planning. The title will be coming to PC, according to PC Gamer. Ninja Theory says it will be future-proofing the game with 4K resolution and potential support for mods. Ninja Theory is working with a small team of only 13 members to create Hellblade, which takes place in a Viking underworld. There are times when games do become exclusive only for one system and only for the system itself, because sometimes games never do get carried over to the PC. Now, with this being the case, Hellblade is going to be coming to PC as well, not just for the PlayStation 4 only. But the question remains, will they both be coming out at the same date, or will the PlayStation 4 one come out first and then later on the PC version? In addition to over 900 classic arcade games, the Internet Arcade has posted playable versions of 2,400 old-school MS-DOS games. Archive.org has been doing some great work in preserving video games' early history, and has now expanded with a staggering selection of 2,400 old-school PC games. These include the original SimCity, Prince of Persia, Maniac Mansion, and the original Castle Wolfenstein. It's all free, although some games cannot be downloaded, only streamed. I have gone to this website and actually tried a few of its old school games. About 3 of them I was actually able to try. One is a very old, I guess, MS-DOS, Mac, Apple computer game called Number Munchers. It felt exactly the same as when I first played it many, many years ago as a little kid. Another game I tried that I saw listed was the Oregon Trail. Now, this version that I played was not the very first version that I've always been looking for. I'm guessing it was probably the second edition. Aside from that, I also tried looking for the Carmen Sandiego games, which they do have some of those as well. And in this article itself, it says that they have Maniac Mansion, which was an exclusive game on the original Nintendo. To anybody who played some of these older games growing up as a little kid in schools, you should go to this website and check out what they have. They have a massive, and I do mean that, massive amount of old games. Although, to be honest, they could be, doing some more digging and adding some more classic games. Not just old school PC games, but more older classic arcade games. Bungie is going to fix the Corda's End raid that has part of the Dark Below expansion. The now infamous glitch that made fighting the final boss reasonably easy will be no more. The new patch, which makes a number of changes to the raid, will roll out on Tuesday, January 13th. Thankfully, the most difficult section of the raid, the fight with the Death Singer, will now be rewarded. The treasure chest contents in the pit, which could be exotic weapons, armor, class gear, or radiant materials, will now be awarded when you defeat her. The chest in the pit will now just hold radiant materials. The bridge section, which could be manipulated so that most of the team was able to stay out of harm's way, has been fixed. Players will need to cross the bridge for the end of this stage and won't be able to do so until it's completed. No more jumping and floating across. A glitch prevents the Shrieker's enemies from spawning across the Death Singer's encounter, in turn preventing completion of that phase, will no longer occur. They will show up without fail. Finally, 2 major boons for the Corda End boss fight will be repaired. First, the glitch that caused him to stay on his knees if the lead player disconnects will go away. We're going to have to fight him the real way from now on. Secondly, 2 sword bearers carrying the items you need to beat Corda will not spawn at the same time. That gave players a leg up on the encounter. Oh, and if you were shaking off the presence of Corda debuff with the Warlock Fireborn ability, sorry, you aren't special anymore. In better news, any exotic weapon drops in the first raid, Vault of Glass, will be properly leveled. Currently, players need to buy an exotic shard from Xur and spend a substantial amount of in-game currency to boost the weapon to new post-expansion power levels. If you do manage to get that Gallowhorn you want, you won't need to jump through the hoops anymore. If you've been itching to test your exotic gear against other Guardians with level advantages turned on, you'll be happy to know the Iron Banner is returning. The event will run from January 13th through January 19th. Additionally, the Asylum, the Abnormality, and the Burning Shrine maps will enter Control and Clash playlist rotation. So, as you can tell, not all of these fixes are for the better. I mean, the Corda's End raid is horrible enough in the beginning, but fixing it like this is not exactly making things better, it's making it worse. I mean, some of the stuff was a lot better by leaving it the way it is. Now, onto the better fixes. Apparently the drops, the exotic weapon drops that you get from the Vault of Glass are going to be properly leveled, so you won't have to go through the extra stuff getting an exotic shard and crap like that. And also, apparently, the Iron Banner's come back for those people who want to battle in the Crucible. This will probably be a standard. Well, actually, no, I wouldn't say standard. This will probably be a big patch when it hits, so expect to be waiting a while when this patch does kick in on Tuesday, January 13th. Dragon Ball Z's current gen debut is going to take a little bit longer to release, but only a few days. Originally set to release on Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4 on February 17th, the game will now be available on February 24th. Dragon Ball Xenoverse will also release on February 27th for PC via Steam. According to Bandai Namco, the game has been delayed in order to ensure the highest possible gameplay experience. Now, me personally, I have no issue waiting maybe a couple more days, let alone a week more, for Dragon Ball Xenoverse. If they want to work on it a little bit more, go ahead, let them do it. You know, what you have here with Dragon Ball Xenoverse is you're kind of combining the standard Dragon Ball fighting game with what we heard of as far as the Dragon Ball Online game a little bit. Apparently the people at Bandai Namco probably found out about that Dragon Ball Online game and added some of those features into this game. But as far as this little delay, as it says right here, it's just a small delay. It's nothing major. It's not like it's been pushed back for another year. Well, that's it for this episode of Action Video Game Talk. Once again, thanks for joining me today, or tonight, or whenever you're watching or listening to this episode. Later on, I will have the separate clips up if you want to go and check those out. Down below, I will have the link for the Facebook page if you want to go check that out. So, until next time, bye.